Before I begin, I'd like to take a moment of my time to ask for a moment of silence for my fallen colleague, Officer Brian Signig, who died from injuries he sustained in the line of duty defending the capital of our beloved democracy.
Hey, what's up everyone? It's your boy Stutter God. I'm back with another video. Now, as you can see here, officers who were present in the January 6th insurrection spoke out against Trump supporters and their so-called belief regarding that the real people who attacked the Capitol was BLM or Antifa, as they say. But as you can see here, him along with other officers pointed out the truth, right? They generally did the right thing, and I can respect them for that. Does that a little bit, right? And while that's all and good, that doesn't really do anything. Granted, it spreads awareness to what actually happened, and it makes the overall argument pretty much more difficult, because now the people they regard as heroes are now snitching on them, essentially. But even with that said, remember something: blue lives matter until they don't. So even though he's doing the right thing to them, he's basically siding himself with the Democrats, BLM, and Antifa, allegedly, right? Because you gotta remember, Democrats and Republicans love to twist reality so that it can fit into their narrative, right? They love to twist reality. Whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, the results are about the same, right? And while people are siding with him, a lot of people, the people who believe in Donald Trump and believe in what he said about the insurrection and anything like that, this doesn't do anything for them, bro. This doesn't waver their belief at all. It doesn't do that. All this really does is basically make this officer a target, right? Because granted, it also helped to make the conversation more difficult regarding what happened on January 6th. But again, blue lives matter until they don't. So they will say anything they can in order to downplay his words, right? It doesn't matter how ridiculous it is. It doesn't matter how unrealistic it sounds. As long as it makes sense to them, they'll buy it, right? They'll buy it, no questions asked. Why? Because it fits into the general belief system, right? It makes them feel like they weren't idiots and cultists, right? Because to them, reality is too hard to face. Not only them too, but on every single political party out there. Well, maybe Democrats and Republicans and left and right, right? Because at the end of the day, the parties involved and the parties that just mentioned love to twist reality into their own belief system, right? They will ignore the facts until it fits into their agenda, right? And while one group has more facts than the other, from what I have seen personally, the truth is, at the end of the day, they're probably just as bad as any other group out there. Why? Because anyone can just wake up one day and say fuck it and just decide to go on a rampage, right? As a matter of fact, that's a really bad example. That's a really bad example. Here, let me try again. Because at the end of the day, their narrative and their belief can be altered, right? And it can be altered in such a way that it will make things that weren't important and people that weren't previously a threat, it can now do the exact opposite. Why? Because it fits into what they believe in personally. Granted, this doesn't mean every single person in that political party, one or another, right? But the risk is still out there. The risk is still present. It can happen to anyone, right? And that's something we have to keep in mind when dealing with everyone who's against us, right? And at the end of the day, you must be willing to seek out the truth and nothing but the truth with no ties attached. If you can't do that and you find yourself disregarding this and that purely on your own feelings and not logically, that's the wrong way to go about it, right? Because if you do that, you're probably more likely to be tricked later on. Because someone can tell you something, and whether you have the facts or not, as long as you agree on an emotional level to what he or she is saying, you'll end up buying right into it. And that's something that we should watch out for. At the end of the day, though, everyone will have different opinions. And that's perfectly fine. Until those opinions are racist. Then, go fuck yourself. But with that said, I'd like to thank everyone for watching. Now, I'll see you guys in the next video. Black first, BLM, and peace out.